also like really nervous. But
I'm all scared.
Okay, I'm going to do this again. Are you guys ready? Yes, because I'm having a little... Oh, that's fine. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go back. Do over, right? We can do over mornings. Please tell me I can do it over. Here we go. I'm going to do it again. We're going to teach you this. Uh-oh. Yes, everybody do that way. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Here we go again. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Here, yes. Wait, oh, wait, my yesterday. I'm leaving it behind me. Hello, sunshine, come with me. I'm feeling something new inside me. I hear the birds singing, now my alarm's ringing. Get up, hey. It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. This morning, I'm stepping on my way. Good morning. Give me strength, give me just what I need. I can feel the whole that's rising in me. Good morning. You sing it with us. Good morning. Slow down, breathe in, don't overhead. I'm living just for this moment. Got my arms raised, one face, jump out of bed. Gotta get this party going. I went to bed dreaming, you woke me up singing. Get up, hey. It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. This morning, stepping on my way. Good morning. Give me strength, give me everything I need. And when I can feel the hope that's rising in me, it's a good morning to a brand new day. This morning, stepping on my way. Good morning. Give me strength, give me just what I need. And I can feel the hope that's rising in me. A good morning. Here we go again. A good morning. Sing it with us. A good morning. A good morning. Uh-oh, a good morning. Uh-oh, a good morning. A good morning. All right, I survived it. Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us. Shining bright through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us. Reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us. Rising up beyond the hush. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it. We feel it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it, spirit. Spiritual, the breath in us, breathing all of us right here. Spiritual, the grace in us, calling everything right here. Spiritual, the peace in us, spreading out across the world. Spiritual, the power in us, flying like a flag unfurled. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it, we feel it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it, believe it, the spirit. Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us. Shining through us every year. Spirit, you're the love in us. Reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond the hush, yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it, we feel it, we feel it, we feel it, yeah, yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it, yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it, we feel it, we feel it, we feel it, yeah, yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it, it's spirit. We see it, believe it, it's spirit. We see it, believe it, it's spirit.
Naneto Reverend Jeffrey Ryan. We here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral lands of the Kauai, Gabrielino Tomba, Keech, and Luiseno peoples. We commit to live in right relations, to love our neighbors, to seek justice and loving kindness, and to walk humbly upon this land. We recognize our oneness so that we may decolonize our minds and set each other free from the pain of racism and violence. To live better as God intended, in harmony with one another and with nature itself, with life itself. So welcome and good morning.
Good morning.
I am Reverend Jeffrey Ryan. It is my honor and pleasure to serve this beloved community, Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, where?
Love lives here.
Love lives here, absolutely. So happy May Day, happy and blessed Beltane. Today is May 1st, and happy Lay Day in Hawaii, and Workers' Day International, and happy birthday to Auntie Darlene, and happy anniversary. Today is John and Lupe's 52nd wedding anniversary. Celebrating that today. So congratulations to the two of them. And so good morning to all of you joining us here in the sanctuary, and good morning to our beloveds joining us online. Good morning to Shawnee. Good morning, Mom and Dad. Good morning, and aloha kakahiaka to Casey and Wayne. Good morning to Laura, and of course, good morning to John and Lupe Marie, and good morning to Earl and Denise joining us online this morning as well. So it is the first weekend in May. It's the first Sunday in May. So we want to celebrate Auntie Dardar's birthday as well as anniversaries, John and Lupe's anniversary. So if you were born in the month of May or reborn, no judgment. If you were born or reborn in the month of May, we invite you to stand so that we may celebrate you in this moment. All right, there's one. Anybody else? Oh, Jared too, okay. All right, others born in the month of May. All right, so Jabel, here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, month of May. Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha. And any anniversaries? Aside from Lupe and John. Anniversaries? All right. Yay. So Michael and Abel, how many years now? 5? Awesome. Congratulations. Yay. Fantastic. All right. And yes, and Casey has her birthday coming up on the 3rd of May. So just in a couple days here. All right. Yes. Wayne says Casey should be standing, so there you are. Whether she is or not, I don't know, but Wayne thinks she should be, so there you are. All right, so let's come together, let's sing, let's celebrate, let's get this party started this morning, shall we? Here we go.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Invite you to stand and sing and play.
So you recognize the God in you.
Why y'all sitting down?
Feel the love in
Stop.
It's a do-over day.
Clearly, we need a do-over today.
I need a do-over day.
All right, so we're going to start this all over again. And as the song says, when it says, take the person next to you, take a look at the person next to you, look at him, say hi, say good morning, follow along in the song. Let's do this. All right, here we go.
Take a look at the person next to you. That's you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Just lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. 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 Take a look at the person next to you. God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Just lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. Every walk of life. Every creed and color, and kitchen reunite. Oh, in honor of the God and each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Yeah, just lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Come together. Come together. Come together. Oh, in the name of love. Come together. Come together. Come together. In the name of love. Yes, come together. Come together. Come together. In the name of love.
Good morning. My name is Amber Holland, and I'm one of your licensed spiritual practitioners here at Riverside Spiritual Living. Good morning.
I didn't turn the thing over for her.
Okay. I will be available after service for a brief moment of prayer in the prayer room behind the lobby. Please do not leave here with anything on your heart. We would love to pray with you and absolutely know that prayer works. Now please allow the music to take you into the silence, followed by this morning's invocation.
It is not I, but the Spirit within, who does these things. I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory the spirit within who does these things I see before me. It is not I, but the spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God. It is not I, but the spirit within who does these things I see before me. It is not I, but the spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God.
Wow. Everyone can just join me in consciousness, resting into that still, quiet place where God is, where all of life is perfect and united in every way. There is only one source of all, one knower of all, one doer of all. It is the name that I call God, the energy, the force, the perfect reflection. It is the constant flow and never-ending love that is always present. It is the perfection of each and every moment. And it is all that I am. Each and every part of me is made of this pure and perfect love. And as I know this for myself, I know this for each and every person, that we are manifestations of spirit in every way, that all of the goodness and greatness of God flows through us, that we are the power of spirit. We are the voice of God, the mind of God, the heart of God. And knowing this, I know that we leave here today knowing that each and every moment in our lives is exactly what it's meant to be, that there's no pass or fail. There's no good or bad, right or wrong. That every moment is a rainbow of perfection and opportunity, and that we rest in this knowing, that we sit in this knowing that all is good, all is God, and all is well. And I simply let this be so, and together we say, and so it is.
There's a lot of situations that try to test our patience. We don't have to let them mess up our day, 'cause they're just full of speed bumps on the road of life, and nothing's gonna rain on our parade. And if you wanna know the secret for getting things done, with minimum headaches and maximum fun, some simple advice: you got to treat people nice, and you'll always have a good outcome. Just apply a little positivity, that's all you really need. A sunny disposition keeps shining unconditionally. So you're driving on the freeway, there's not a lot of leeway on the side, up ahead or behind. Seems like everybody's late for something racing, rushing, honking, bumping, still not making good time. So instead of giving someone a piece of your mind, stop and let them in and then flash the peace sign. And hold up 2 fingers instead of just one, and they'll do the same for you, son. Just apply a little positivity, positivity, that's all you really need. The sun in disposition keeps shining unconditionally. Oh. And the fire, that potential for joy is exponential. Imagine what this world could be with just a little more positivity, positivity, that's all we really need. Well, here's to all the people who soar like an eagle with just a smile and good attitudes. With their wings spread wide, raising everyone inside, lifting our collective mood. And it's amazing how one person can somehow sing the light of a room, or sing a happy song and make a flower start to bloom, or reach out to somebody who's feeling lost and all alone, and say some words of comfort that makes them feel at home. All it takes is just some positivity, positivity, that's all you really need. The sun in this position keeps shining unconditionally. And you find that the potential for joy is exponential. Imagine what this world could be with just a little positivity, positivity, that's all you really need. Everybody, yes, positivity, positivity, that's all you really need. The sun in this position keeps shining unconditionally. And you'll find that the potential, this joy is exponential. Imagine what this world can be with just a little positivity, positivity, that's all we really need. A little positivity, positivity, that's all you really need. Positivity, that's all we really need. That's all we really need. That's all we really
I tried to be the band.
Fantastic, thank you. Good morning once again. Great to see all of you and more folks joining us online. Good morning to Debbie Lynn and Patty Clark and Ann Henning. Good morning to all of you. Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to thank Jabel and Jeff, and I want to thank Amber. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opening. Yeah, it feels like today's just a day of redos. So I'm just gonna know that if I stumble, we're just gonna redo, because this is the way it is, right? Life is life. Life is happening all the time. So yeah, perfect. So this month we are starting off the month of emotion. Ooh, yes. And you're already having emotions just by knowing that this month is emotions, aren't you? And so today we're talking about what's on your spice rack. So are you feeling a little spicy? Yeah? All right. So why don't we say our focus statement with some S's this morning, shall we? So what are some of the S's? Spicy. What else? Sincerity. Saucy. Spontaneity. Sharp. Spectacular. Sugar. Honey. All right. Serenity. Okay, so here we go. Let's say our our focus statement. See, there you go. We're just gonna let's say our focus statement with all the S's today. Here we go. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Yes. All right. Wonderful. So as I mentioned, this month we are going to be looking at emotions, and the theme for the year for Centers for Spiritual Living is Living Everyday Wonder. And each month we have the opportunity to look at various areas of our lives with this lens of living everyday wonder, that we're really tucking into and tapping into. Matt, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback up here, getting some reverb. It's like, thank you. Okay, much better. Thank you, appreciate it. So we are looking at emotions, but this year we're looking at living everyday wonder, and we're looking at life through practical lens, living spiritually through our everyday practices, our everyday lives, our everyday motions, etc., our everyday actions. Because where do we meet spirit? Every day, right? Right here, every day. Wherever we go, there we are, and wherever we go, there's spirit too, right? And we're inseparable from that. So when the team and I were putting together the themes for Centers for Spiritual Living this year, one of the questions that we were asking ourselves was, all right, so what is it that our beloveds come to us for prayer? Like, you don't come into the prayer room and say, Dinah, I want you to tell me about the creative process. And I want you to explain the theory of mind, body, soul. That's not why you go into the prayer room, for most of you, I don't think. You can. Right? But that's not necessarily why you would go into the prayer room, right? Or if you're experiencing life and you're wanting some kind of support or some kind of uplift or some kind of guidance, it's not usually to learn about the 10 principles of what we believe or the 10 core concepts. You're not like lying awake in the morning going, God, I wonder what those 10 core concepts are. Maybe I'll go in on Sunday and I'll ask. Or maybe I'll just call a practitioner and find out what those 10 principles are. I'm so curious. Again, there may be a few of you for whom that is true and wonderful, but usually there's something else that is saying, I need some support right now. I just need some community around me. I need some clarity on something. So when we looked at living everyday wonder and we looked at the theme and we looked at the practical application of what it is that we teach, what it is that we believe, what it is that we want to share with the world, we looked at it through all these lenses. And so the first part of the year, the February, was kind of that existential, spiritual, I feel something different. I'm feeling something within me. I'm feeling a spirit call, or I'm feeling a mental call to something. There's something else that's kind of there. And then we entered into some fairly easy and fairly fun ones of play, right? Because frequently people will be like, I'm just not having fun in my life. I want to have more fun. I want to experience more fun, right? Or they come and in April, it was like, I want to be more creative. I have this great idea. I just don't know how to bring it forward. Or, I'm kind of blocked. I feel this call to express, but I just don't know how to express it. I'm experiencing writer's block or composer's block or painter's block or any other kinds of blocks. I'm experiencing some of that. And so we addressed those at the beginning of the year. And now we're in May. We're talking about emotions. And we're not talking about Mariah Carey doing her whistle, No, we're not, Spice Girls. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, Spice Girls today. Hey, there we go. And then we move on, as we move through the rest of the year, I just wanted to make you aware of this. As we move on through the rest of the year, next month is body. So we're talking about physical wholeness. And then we're talking about relationships. Ooh, that's July, right? And then we're talking about nature, because we sometimes, we have this sense of larger connection with a greater world. And so there's the natural thing, there's climate change and culture change and culture crises. And then we're going to talk about work, or what your profession is, or school. And then we move on into finances. Yeah, that's usually one, right? You go to that prayer room, it's like, hey, I need a new job. I need more money. I need help with my finances, right? That's a frequent one for the prayer room. And then there's a sense of home, and then community is how we round out this year. And so we deliberately placed emotions here. Why did we place emotions here? Well, we've already had a lot of fun and a lot of joy and a lot of creativity starting, right? And there's no reason why we can't keep that rolling. There's no reason why some of these things in our lives can't also be joyful and can't also be positive, as the song was singing. But we also have the opportunity to explore the full range of our emotions, the fullness of our spice rack. Because if we only get stuck in one idea or one spice, it gets to be pretty bland. We begin to adjust to that. And we don't experience life more fully or more completely, or we don't experience a lot of tastes, a lot of variety. And after all, variety is the spice of life, is it not? And so that also applies then to our emotions. And when we understand our emotions and understand how our emotions work for us and how we interact with them and respond to them, and then become inquisitive and curious about what wisdom they have to offer, then we have the opportunity to grow and deepen and experience an overall positive life, even though there might be some hiccups. There might be some waves of sadness, or waves of anger, or waves of fear, right? But overall, when you have these waves happening, if you learn how to ride the wave or surf the wave, as the case may be, there's that lull, there's that calm after the wave, that calm, peaceful equanimity. And we learn more so that we learn how to ride waves more skillfully the more we practice. Is this true?
Oh, yeah.
So, just like we have basic tastes of salty, sweet, spicy, bitter, savory, sour, right? We have basic emotions. Basic emotions, the jury's kind of out on how many basic emotions we have. Some models say we have 5 basic emotions, some say we have 6, some say we have 7, some say we have 8. And that the combinations thereof, just like the combinations of spices, the combinations thereof create more spices or create more emotions, up to a range of, are you ready for this? 34,000 possible feelings and emotions that we can have as human beings. It is confusing. I mean, Francis' eyebrows was like, yeah, 34,000. With all of the possible combinations of what it is that we can feel based on a core set of anywhere from 5 to 8. And then some say 27, but but the 4 that everybody agrees on are joy, sadness, fear, and anger. And these are the ones that we're going to be looking at in depth this month. And we're going to be looking and exploring and having fun with and being curious about and allowing the wisdom of these to come forth. You see, when we allow ourselves to experience our feelings, and we experience them and we feel them all the way through, we can feel them all the way through to completion, then we don't get caught up into a mood or a temperament. Think of it this way. When a baby is upset for some reason, wet, hungry, angry, tired, whatever, what does a baby do? It cries, right? So it expresses, it emotes, it cries, it lets it out, it makes a sound, it gets all red and shakes its fist or what have you, right? And then it passes, right? The feeling passes, it comes to pass. The feeling moves through the baby. Same thing with a cat, right? Right? Or a dog that growls, right? And then all of a sudden, 90 seconds later, waggy, 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 right? I mean dinosaurs. It's a good day. So feelings actually are designed to move through our bodies with about 90 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, depending on what it is. But feelings are designed to move through our bodies. But when we repress them or we recycle them, then feelings can become a mood. Feelings can get stuck, and then it becomes a mood. And so now I'm not just angry, now I'm grumpy. And I'm in a mood. I'm in a grumpy mood. And then that mood, if the mood continues for a really, really, really long time, it becomes a temperament. I become bitter, sour, salty. Right? Then it becomes a temperament, and it's like, bitter old man, don't want to be around him. So we have the opportunity here to move through and experience our emotions and experience the full range of our emotions, because what does the universe respond to, beloveds? When we talk about treatment, when we talk about prayer, when we talk about meditation, etc., what is it, the creative process, what is it that the universe responds to? If I just say, I have $1 million, I have $1 million, I have $1 million.
Feeling and belief.
Feeling and belief. Thank you, practitioner emeritus Anita. Yes, feeling and belief. The universe responds to the feeling and the belief. So why would emotion be so important to us? Why would feelings be so important? Because that's what the universe responds to. That's what spirit responds to. If I say it with conviction, if I feel it in my body with absolute conviction and joy and passion, like, yes, I have $1 million. You feel how that is a much different creative energy that is probably more aligned to actually receiving it, actually getting it, actually being it, than if I just said, I have $1 million. I have $1 million. I have $1 million. What is the energetic match? You see, a feeling or an emotion is an energy in motion. Motion. Energy in motion. So an emotion or a feeling, an emotion is energy in motion. It is a feeling, it is an energy that is acting in or on the physical body. It is a physical sensation that we experience. It's not just a thought. It's not just an idea. There is a physical response. When you feel happy, where do you feel that in your body? Where do you feel it in your body when you feel happy? All over, right? There's this effervescence. There's this, it's an all over tingly feeling. It might be joy. There might be a greater sense of opening. There might be like smile that comes to our face, right? But there's that joy. And where do we feel sadness typically? We feel sadness in our chest. We feel it in our throat. We feel it in our eyes. And what about anger? Belly, the fire in the belly could be there. Could be neck and shoulders and back, because I'm angry. Right? clenching of the jaw happens when we get angry. What about fear? Where do we feel fear? Where do you feel fear? Belly. Yeah, we feel fear in our belly. It's like, ooh, tightness. Ugh. And all of our emotions are just like spices too, right? In that there's different levels of intensity. Some are just more mild, tame, a 0 on the Thai restaurant scale. Right? And then there's some that are like, whoa, 10. So you have your bell pepper, and then you have your ghost pepper, right? Burning all the time, right? So we have different intensities of emotion as well. So not only is it spice blends, but then there's different levels of intensity with those spice blends. But ultimately, what we can do is we can kind of distill almost all of them back into the 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 basic core emotions. And why are they called core universal emotions? Because regardless of culture, regardless of where we live in the world, how we've been raised, what have you, we all have the tendency, when we experience joy, the facial expressions and the way our bodies respond to joy tend to be very similar. There's a lightness, there's a smile, it's very similar. Fear also has a tendency to look very similar. Anger looks very similar. Sadness looks very similar. So that is why they're called the core or the universal emotions. So if we can get to that universal emotion and we can understand what's going on and we can feel it and sense it in our bodies and we can accept it and we can breathe into it, then we have the opportunity to learn from it and tap into its wisdom. And when we tap into the wisdom, then that brings us back to, all right, so if this is for me, the universe, right, is always conspiring for me. The universe is not against me. Spirit is not against me. It is always conspiring for me. Conspire with spirit. Conspire with spirit. So it is always breathing, it is always working with me, working for my highest good. And so the emotions themselves, the feelings themselves are responses to some sort of stimuli, whether it is an external stimuli or an internal stimuli, whether it is a thought that we think or whether it is a replaying and replaying and replaying the same entire story, right? The body receives that information and makes choices and releases chemicals into the body so our body responds. Our brains receive it and then release the chemicals, and then our body receives those chemicals and we respond or we react, however we react in response to that chemical dump. Yeah. So if we get stuck repeating, especially an emotion that we would consider negative, and really there is no negative or positive emotion, just like what was spoken of this morning, it just is. What happens is we assign meaning to it, but what it is it's just a way of accessing greater information that Spirit is trying to convey. So we have this way of accessing it. It's like, okay, got it. Oh, I'm feeling a flutter in my tummy right now. Ooh. What is that? Oh, it's a little bit of nervousness. I wonder what that's about. And here's where we get to the wonder and the curiosity, right? I wonder what that's about. When else have I felt this? Oh, okay. So this is a pattern. Every time I have to speak in public, I get a little bit nervous. This is not me. But I get a little nervous. Oh. Well, this is some information, isn't it? So what is the belief that I'm holding about this nervous energy that I'm experiencing? Oh, it's a belief of not good enough. Oh, and when I don't feel like I'm good enough, then what does that bring up? Oh, that brings up some shame. And oh, what is shame? Oh, shame is fear. Oh, so I'm in fear at this moment. Got it. Okay. So can I just be with the fear? Can I just breathe with that? Yeah, it's possible. Because what this is it is a interruption of the thought pattern. It is a taking an opportunity to look at, to be with, and to be mindful of. It's a type of mindfulness practice, to be mindful of what it is that we are experiencing, and then what is the gift in it, and then how do I want to move forward from there? Do I want to continue to experience this feeling? Do I want to continue to experience similar feelings? Do I want to continue to experience this experience? Or would I like to see something shift? But as long as I'm willing to be present with it, and I know that, this feeling should, if I'm just present with it, breathe into it, pass within 90 seconds or so, all right. This isn't a lifetime I'm signing up for this feeling. I'm not trying to hold on to joy. I'm not trying to prevent sadness. I'm not trying to suppress anger. I'm not trying to brave my way through fear. Just present with it and see what's available here, because there's lessons in each one of these beautiful things. When anger is up, anger is inviting the question of what is no longer of service? What is no longer in alignment with who I am or alignment with the situation? What needs to be changed or destroyed or something else put in its place? So anger, when we experience anger, it's an opportunity to ask the question of like, what's no longer of service here? What's no longer in alignment? Sadness is an opportunity to ask what needs to be let go of or said goodbye to. That might be a person, a place, a thing, an idea, an opportunity, but what needs to be released? Sadness offers that gift of what needs to be released. Fear offers the gift of what needs to be known or what needs to be faced. What do I have to wake up to? What lessons are here and present that is wanting to be learned? And joy invites us into asking, what needs to be celebrated? What needs to be appreciated? What wants to be laughed at? You see how these questions and being present with the emotion themselves provides more opportunity. Yes? And so then these answers, when you ask yourself these questions and the answers that are revealed, then this is where we then have the opportunity to take it to prayer. This then could become, or can become, does become, if you choose to, your prayer request. Oh, I recognize that this is no longer of service, and I am being called to release it because I'm experiencing anger and I'm experiencing sadness. And wow, this thing is just being called to be released. It's no longer serving me. So then my prayer request comes of perhaps grace, ease of release, reconciliation, love, peace with the decision, peace in my choices, clarity of mind that I may do something, that I may take the next step, grounded and anchored and centered in principle. Or Instead of going that way with it, right? Being conscious, using emotional intelligence and being conscious of what I'm experiencing or what I'm feeling, I could just be mad. I could just be angry. You know what? I can come and I can talk to you about it. And you know what? I get angry all over again. And then I come over here and I'm going to talk to you about it too. And oh man, am I working myself up into a froth. Right? The unconscious choice to perpetuate, to not learn from, to not grow from, to not experience the fullness, the allness, and the wisdom of what it is that I'm feeling, what it is that I'm emoting, what it is that is working me, what it is that is trying to come forth and express itself and say, hey, lift it up. Here's the lesson, here's the joy, here's the wisdom. Because once we step into saying yes to the emotion, saying yes to the wisdom of the emotion, and guess what? We've crested the wave, we're now on the other side of the wave, and now we're into that sweet spot of just calm and equanimity and peace. And in that place, we can make new decisions, we can make new choices, we can then plant the new seed, the new idea into the divine mind and watch it bear fruit. Because it's coming from a place of, Spirit has revealed this. Spirit used my emotions, used my emotions, used my body, used the flutters, used the revulsion, whatever, to communicate with me. To communicate that there is a higher idea that is wanting to be expressed. So our emotions, beloveds, are an opportunity to grow, to lift, to move forward, to continue to evolve if we are conscious of them. And then, when we're conscious, we get to pick them and choose them and experience them the way we would go to our spice rack and go, today I'm feeling like, a mixture of cumin and coriander. A little bit of caraway maybe would be an interesting thing, and let's see what happens when I do that. Or we go to our spice rack and it's like rosemary, sage, and thyme. Or a little paprika, a little turmeric, not going to have much flavor, but going to have a lot of color. There's the variety. And once again, beloveds, we are at choice. And we have the opportunity then to enjoy the fullness of the spice rack and the fullness of the spice of life and the fullness of the spice of emotion. So, your takeaway, Allison, your tool, everybody. Okay, here come the journals and here come the pens. Let's see if I can say it. All right. So, here you go. First, see if you can identify the core emotion you're feeling. One of those 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 core emotions that you're feeling. See if you can distill it down to that, Craig. Okay? I see the eyes get really big. See if you can distill it down to that. So what is that one emotion? Then locate that sensation somewhere in your body. We talked about where some of these primary emotions or where some of these core emotions are. We talked about locating that emotion somewhere in your body. And then what does it feel like? Is it fluttery? Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it thumping? Is it jittery? What is that feeling? Is it tingly? What is that feeling in your body? Just feel that sensation in your body and then breathe into it. Feel it, breathe into it. Then see if you can just allow it to be. Can I just be with this tingling sensation right now? I'm kind of enjoying this tingling sensation. Can I be with the tingling sensation, or do I feel like I need to move it or change it? And then simply breathe. Breathe again. Then the opportunity here is to match your experience with your expression. So what I mean by this, and what is meant by this when you look at it from an emotional intelligence or EQ perspective, you match your sensation, you match your experience with your expression. So if your sensation, if the tingling could make a sound, what would it be? Not a word, a sound, right? So if the tingling could make a sound, what would that sound be? And if that sensation that's happening in your body could move, how would it do that? How would it move? So you want to match the experience, the emotion, with the sound, with the actual physical motion, and you want to match the intensity. So if what you're feeling is a lot of anger, then the intensity is going to be much greater, right? Than if you're just feeling like annoyed, right? So the way you want to do this is you want to match the intensity, but you want to match the sound and the feeling with what's going on. So if it's tingly, it might look like right? Tingling, right? And then the sound might be and then you check in again. Is that tingling sensation still there? Is the emotion that's behind that tingling sensation still there? Breathe again. Yeah, it's still there a little bit. So let's just do it one more time. Shift. The emotion that was causing the tingly has now had an opportunity, that feeling has now had the opportunity to work its way all the way through to completion rather than getting stuck. Right? And so then what was that? Joy, curiosity. So it was joy and curiosity that I was experiencing there. So what is the gift of joy? What's wanting to be celebrated in this moment? What's wanting to be celebrated is that I'm here with all of you. What's wanting to be celebrated is that I see the love on the faces of these beloveds here and online. That's what's wanting to be celebrated. That's what's wanting to be appreciated. How fantastic. And so now, let's take it to prayer. Shall we? All right. So I invite our practitioners and our core council to please stand and surround the sanctuary as we continue in this exploration of emotion. So we continue in the spiciness. So the opportunity this week, beloveds, is to feel your feelings all the way through to completion. Yes? All right. So feeling this feeling and recognizing that, what I'm really experiencing in this moment is this tingling sensation, this aliveness. What I'm experiencing here is joy. And so what I know is that God is joy, Spirit is life, Spirit is love. And Spirit is forever expressing itself through and as all of creation, as all of life. And it expresses itself so beautifully through the human consciousness. And I am one with this Spirit. I am one with this one that right where I am, knowing that Spirit is all that there is, that there is only this one energy, there's only this one force, there's only this one power. I know that it brought forth all of creation, all of life through and as itself. Therefore, I know that I am one with it. Therefore, I know that I am the joy that Spirit is. I know that I am the love that Spirit is. I know that I am the peace that Spirit is. I know that I am the harmony that Spirit is, because right where I am, Spirit is. I'm inseparable from it. And as I know that this is true of me, I know that this is true of all of life, of all of creation, of everyone gathered here this day, of everyone who ever hears this message. And whether they hear it or not, it's true, period, because Spirit is all there is. And so I know that this community is one of joy. This community is one of effervescence. This community is one of tingling. This is what is happening here. This is what is present in this moment. And I call forth more and more and more good. Because the universe is unlimited. It is infinite. It is eternal. So nothing is ever withheld. So I simply claim and know and enter and align my energy, my energetic being, the energy that is Spirit that is moving through me. I bring myself into alignment with it through the conscious use of my mind, through this wisdom, this divine wisdom that has been expressed and shared with me this day to be amplified. And so I simply place this wisdom, I place this joy back into that creative medium that only says yes. I place that back into the universe, which only says yes. It never returns void. And so that it magnifies and glorifies and expresses even to a more greater, fuller capacity of itself, of joy, of life, of love. This is what I know to be true this day. And so this is what I lift up. This is what I amplify and magnify this day. Because it has been called forth from within, because I listen. And I know that this I that is speaking, this I is not just the I that is Jeffrey, it is the I that is all. It is the I in each one. So it is not Jeffrey's word. It's not Jeffrey's idea. It's not only for the benefit of Jeffrey. It is the I that lives and moves and breathes and has its being in, through, and as each one. And recognizing that there is only one life, I recognize that all life, each individualized expression of life is amplified, magnified, glorified, and joy this day. Oh, and how good it is to know that. How good it is to feel that. How good it is to express that. How good it is to be the avenue through which it makes itself known and through which it expresses out into the world as a whole. And it does so through this beloved community, Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. And so I simply give thanks. And I release this word knowing it is done, knowing that it is manifest here and now. And let it be. And so it is.
The power of now is always present, nowhere to be than where you are. The power of now flows oh so gracefully. The power of now is always perfect, nothing to be than who you are. The power of now flows oh so easily. Be Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control, for everything goes away. Let everything wash away the power of now. The power of now is ever flowing, connecting us all to the one. The power of now unfolds so peacefully. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control, for everything goes away. Let everything wash away the power of now. The power of now is ever flowing, connecting us all to the one. The power of now unfolds so peacefully. The power of now.
So I invite our beloveds who are in service to go ahead and please come on forward. And collecting on behalf of the congregation today are Frank Conley and Cindy Lambert, and receiving on behalf of the congregation today is practitioner Diana Williams. So I invite you to take out that which you're choosing to contribute this morning. The easiest way to contribute is via text to give. Simply text 951-419-5858. Type in the amount you're choosing to contribute and hit send. It's just that easy. It's just like texting a friend, because that is in fact what you are doing. You are texting all of your friends here in Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, whether you are there online or whether you're here in person. You are sharing the love with one another. So I invite you to think of it that way, that you are texting your loved ones, texting your beloveds. All right. And so if you are, another easy way to contribute is going to the website, riversidecsl.org, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the word contribute. It's nice and easy to do that. Or if you're here in the sanctuary, then you can contribute the more traditional way as well. So whatever you're choosing to contribute, I invite you to hold it over your heart space. And let's say this affirmation together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
All right, I like kind of like that little steel guitar on the other sound. All right, so just a few things to share with you before we head out for coffee and snackies. Snackies. All right, good. Maybe a nap. I don't know. Like kindergarten. All right. Before we head out there, just a couple of announcements. The first announcement is the Spirit of Art, celebrating community artists. All right, we are 3 weeks away. Yay! Yes. We are 3 weeks away from this fabulous, fun event that we are having right here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. It is a live art auction as well as a silent art auction. We also have fantastic music. We have fantastic food from Chef Kim McKinsey, who is an award-winning chef, and she has been on Food Network. So you want to like show up for the appies. I mean, hello, right? I mean, where 2 or more religious scientists are gathered, there shall be food, right? So you want to show up for that. And if you are tired of looking at your same boring walls, this is a perfect way to come out, get some fresh art, have a really good time with your friends, your family, strangers, meet the artists who've been donating and contributing. Locally, we are celebrating all of our local artists. And so from our congregation, I know that Amber has some art there. Anita has some art. Allison has some art. Chester has some art. And Tamara has some art there. There's also, I know for sure that Ray has some art there. Right? Michelle. So there is lots of local artists from within our community, but there's also fantastic art as well from the larger Riverside community as well. So there is some great art. It's at all price points, so don't think you gotta come here and go like, well, I'm not gonna go home with anything. There's fantastic art available. So we want you to come. We want you to have a great time. Tell your friends, like it on Facebook, share it on Facebook, share the event, buy your tickets. Excuse me, got so excited. Choking. Greg, is there anything else I need to say about this? It's going to be a fabulous, great time.
Spread the word, invite friends.
Spread the word, invite friends.
You get tickets up.
There you go. All right? Can we do this? As a community, can we do this? Because if you've seen on the slides, we are celebrating 80 years of love. We're celebrating 80 years of Riverside thriving. So this is a way for us to bring in the community, invite them into our beautiful space. I mean, look at this, that's pretty gorgeous, right? Invite them in and share the love with them in such a wonderful, fantastic way. And we've got great sponsors that are happening too, so come and raffle prizes and all kinds of fun stuff. It's gonna be a great night. Then the very next week after that, on Sunday, we have the community picnic. Woohoo!
I'm hungry.
We're hungry, yeah. So I want to thank Frank and the men's group for organizing this. Once again, we've had to take a 2-year hiatus because, you know, that little thing that we've all been experiencing. But we're back and we're having a great time. So make sure you see Frank, make sure you sign up to come to the picnic, make sure you sign up to bring something to the picnic. And we are going to have a picnic down below, and that is the 29th, right? 29th? All right, perfect. All right, so make sure that you come and sign up for that, and let's do that too. All right, so we're coming together in community. We love celebrating. We love loving on each other. We love eating together. These are perfect events for us. So there's no excuse. All right, so tickets, art, picnic, prayer, food. All right, all right. So all right, let's stand and let's say today's affirmation. We are grateful for our emotions. I am grateful for my emotions. This is the affirmation today. So let's say it. I am grateful for my emotions.
I am grateful for my emotions.
I am grateful for all of my emotions.
I am grateful for all of my emotions.
There we go. I like it. All right. So repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. I receive it. And I move it forward. Because love is here. Happy Sunday, beloved. Let's sing it.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it, share it, receive it. And I'm moving forward because love lives here. Love lives here.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it, I share it, receive it. And I move it forward because love lives here. Oh, yeah. Love lives here. Oh. Love lives here. You know this one? Have a great Sunday, you guys. When the world puts you down and you're feeling lonely, when you can't find your truth or find your center, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we love each other. The scars that we see just make us stronger. We breathe it in together. Hold you up with grace. We know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives here. Where love lives here. When I put you down, you can see the future. When it all seems too much for you to handle, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we pray together. And the hurt that you feel will be set free. We breathe it in together. We hold you up with grace. You know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. The soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives here. Where love lives here. Where love lives here. Love lives here. Love lives.